You're probably imagining your next cruise right now. Endless ocean views, relaxed mornings, poolside drinks, and the promise that everything will simply work once you step on board. But here's the part most booking pages don't emphasize. Not every cruise ship delivers the experience it advertises. Some struggle with sanitation issues, others suffer from overcrowding, aging infrastructure, or operational problems that quietly repeat year after year. And once you're at sea, there's no switching ships. Everything in this video is based on verified passenger reviews, official health inspection data, and long-term complaint trends. Not rumors, not brand rivalries, just recurring patterns that experienced cruisers warn about repeatedly. This isn't a hate list. Every ship can have good sailings, but these are vessels where the risks show up more often than most people expect. Before you book a deal that looks perfect on paper, here's what Cruise Cipher uncovered. Number 1. MSC Seaside. When MSC Seaside launched, it was positioned as a turning point for modern cruising. The ship promised a resort-style atmosphere, open-air decks, and a design meant to blur the line between land and sea. Marketing highlighted sunshine, freedom of movement, and a relaxed rhythm inspired by coastal destinations. In theory, it sounded ideal. In practice, many passengers report an experience that feels rushed rather than restful. A major turning point came during a surprise CDC inspection in 2023 when MSC Seaside received a failing sanitation score. Inspectors documented food handling violations, cleanliness concerns in preparation areas, and hygiene lapses that raised serious questions about onboard operations. While MSC acted quickly to correct the issues and later improved inspection results, the initial failure left a lasting mark on public perception. Passenger reviews consistently describe operational strain during busy sailings. Pool decks often feel overcrowded early in the day. Buffet areas develop long lines that move slowly. Dining rooms struggle to keep pace during peak hours, leading to rushed service and inconsistent food quality. Several guests mention that the ship rarely settles into a calm flow, particularly on sea days when everyone is on board at once. To be fair, MSC Seaside has strengths. The exterior design is visually impressive, balcony cabins receive positive feedback, and newer sailings show signs of improvement. Some guests praise the European styling and value-oriented pricing, especially for Caribbean itineraries. However, expectations play a major role in satisfaction. Travelers expecting seamless logistics often report disappointment. The central issue is inconsistency. Some voyages run smoothly. Others feel disorganized and crowded. For a ship of this size, inconsistency becomes the risk factor that experienced cruisers watch closely. Number 2. Costa Fortuna. Costa Fortuna entered service in the early 2000s as a tribute to classic Italian ocean liners. With grand staircases, ornate decor, and a nostalgic design philosophy, the ship once stood out as elegant and distinctive. Over time, however, that classic charm has increasingly been described as dated rather than timeless. Recent passenger reviews reveal a consistent pattern of age-related issues. Worn carpeting, outdated cabins, and occasional plumbing concerns appear frequently in feedback. While none of these problems are individually severe, their repetition contributes to an overall sense that the ship struggles to meet modern expectations. Maintenance is often described as reactive rather than preventative. Crowding is another recurring concern. Despite carrying fewer passengers than many newer vessels, Costa Fortuna is often described as congested, particularly during embarkation and sea days. Pool deck space is limited, buffet areas are small, and peak dining times can feel chaotic. Guests frequently mention long waits and difficulty finding quiet spaces. Operational complexity adds another layer. Costa sailings often include a highly international mix of passengers, which can lead to communication challenges. Reviews regularly reference language barriers, missed announcements, and confusion around daily schedules or excursion logistics. While multilingual cruising can be enriching, it requires strong coordination, which Costa Fortuna does not always deliver. To Costa's credit, the ship retains elements that loyal guests appreciate. Italian cuisine receives positive remarks, espresso bars are popular, and itineraries through the Mediterranean remain attractive and affordable. Crew members are often described as friendly and hardworking, even when operations feel strained. Ultimately, the issue is not safety, but aging infrastructure paired with operational inconsistency. Travelers expecting modern comfort may find the experience frustrating. Number 3. Carnival Sunrise. Carnival Sunrise carries one of the most recognizable histories in modern cruising, and not by choice. Formerly known as Carnival Triumph, the ship became infamous in 2013 after an engine room fire disabled power systems mid-voyage. Thousands of passengers were left without air conditioning, working toilets, or adequate food for several days. The incident permanently reshaped public perception. Carnival invested heavily in refurbishment and rebranded the ship as Carnival Sunrise in 2019. New decor, updated venues, and refreshed cabins were introduced in an effort to reset the narrative. Technically, the ship return to service improved. Reputationally, the shadow lingered. Recent passenger reviews reflect this tension. Some sailings receive praise for friendly crew, lively atmosphere, and improved dining options. Others mention plumbing issues, maintenance delays, and service inconsistencies. Even minor problems tend to amplify anxiety due to the ship's past, creating a lower tolerance threshold among guests. The Sunrise now operates shorter itineraries, often marketed as affordable getaways. These sailings attract a high-energy crowd, which can be enjoyable for some travelers and overwhelming for others. Public areas fill quickly, and guest services lines are frequently mentioned as long during full sailings. Carnival maintains that the 2013 incident was a rare mechanical failure, and by industry standards, that is accurate. However, cruising relies heavily on trust. When a ship's name becomes shorthand for disaster, recovery takes time, regardless of technical improvements. The Sunrise experience varies widely depending on itinerary, passenger mix, and expectations. Those familiar with Carnival's party-forward style may enjoy the value. First-time cruisers or travelers seeking relaxation may find the experience stressful. Number 4. Norwegian Epic. Norwegian Epic was launched as a bold departure from traditional cruise design. It emphasized freestyle cruising, large-scale entertainment, and innovative cabin layouts intended to maximize space. While the ambition was clear, execution proved divisive. The ship's most discussed feature remains its split bathroom design. In standard cabins, the toilet and shower are separated into individual compartments with limited privacy, positioned close to the sleeping area. For couples or families sharing a cabin, this design choice frequently becomes a source of discomfort rather than convenience. Even years later, it remains one of the most criticized aspects in passenger reviews. Beyond cabins, guests often describe Norwegian Epic as operationally demanding. The layout is complex, with narrow corridors and frequent elevator congestion. Peak hours at buffets and elevators are consistently mentioned as stressful, especially on sea days. Navigating the ship can feel exhausting rather than intuitive. In 2019, the ship drew further attention after a power loss and pier collision in San Juan. While no injuries occurred, footage circulated widely and reinforced perceptions of instability. Although Norwegian addressed the incident, it added another layer to an already mixed reputation. Entertainment is where Epic still excels. Broadway-style shows, live music, and nightlife receive strong praise. Many passengers describe evenings on board as energetic and memorable. Unfortunately, that contrast highlights daytime frustrations even more sharply. Norwegian has since launched newer ships with improved layouts, refined cabin designs, and smoother passenger flow. Compared to those vessels, Epic feels like an ambitious experiment that revealed its flaws over time. Number 5. Independence of the Seas. Independence of the Seas was once considered a benchmark for family-friendly cruising. Introduced with surf simulators, ice skating, and diverse dining options, it delivered big ship entertainment without extreme scale. Over time, however, the cruising landscape evolved, and the ship's limitations became more apparent. The most common issue cited in recent reviews is crowding. Passengers frequently describe packed pool decks, long buffet lines, and difficulty securing seating during peak periods.
During school holidays and summer sailings, the ship often operates at maximum capacity, pushing its design beyond comfortable limits. Royal Caribbean continues to market independence as a balanced option, offering big ship features at a mid-size scale. In practice, that balance depends heavily on timing. Off-season sailings receive more positive feedback, while peak sailings generate frustration related to space management and availability. To the ship's credit, food quality remains solid and entertainment receives consistent praise. The crew is often commended for professionalism and patience, particularly when managing large crowds. Still, even strong staff performance cannot compensate for physical space constraints. Comparisons with Royal Caribbean's newer Oasis-class ships are unavoidable. Those vessels offer wider corridors, more venues, and improved crowd flow. Against that backdrop, Independence feels increasingly compressed. For families seeking activities and value, the ship can still deliver an enjoyable vacation. For travelers seeking calm, personal space, and flexible scheduling, the experience can feel restrictive.
Number 6. Costa Deliziosa. Costa Deliziosa was designed to showcase Italian elegance through refined decor, themed lounges, and cultural programming. On paper, it promises sophistication and charm. In practice, passenger experiences vary significantly from sailing to sailing. A recurring theme in reviews is inconsistency. Embarkation processes are often described as slow and confusing. Communication on board can feel fragmented, particularly on itineraries serving international passenger mixes. Language barriers occasionally lead to missed information regarding dining schedules, excursions, or onboard events. The ship's interior design, once praised, now shows signs of age. Guests frequently mention worn furnishings, outdated cabin bathrooms, and maintenance issues such as flickering lights or inconsistent air conditioning. While none of these problems are catastrophic, they contribute to a sense that the ship struggles to maintain polish. Entertainment offerings receive mixed reactions. Some guests enjoy the lively atmosphere and late-night programming. Others find the noise levels intrusive, particularly for travelers seeking a quieter cruise experience. Balancing energy with relaxation appears to be an ongoing challenge. To Costa's credit, culinary offerings remain a highlight for many guests. Authentic Italian dishes, quality coffee, and a strong wine selection receive positive remarks. Itineraries through the Mediterranean and Middle East also add appeal. The core issue remains predictability. Some sailings deliver exactly what Costa promises. Others feel disorganized and stressful, depending on staffing, itinerary, and passenger mix. Number 7. Symphony of the Seas. Symphony of the Seas is often described as one of the most impressive cruise ships ever built. As part of Royal Caribbean's Oasis class, it offers unmatched scale, innovation, and entertainment. That reputation made headlines in early 2025 particularly surprising. During a surprise CDC inspection, Symphony narrowly avoided a failing score. Inspectors identified lapses in food handling and cleanliness within crew service areas. While the score remained technically satisfactory, the margin raised concerns. Royal Caribbean responded quickly, implementing corrections and achieving a significantly higher score in a follow-up inspection. The incident sparked debate among cruisers. Some viewed it as evidence that even the best ships are vulnerable. Others pointed out that operating a vessel serving thousands daily presents constant challenges. Passenger reviews reflect this divide. Many guests describe Symphony as breathtaking, efficient, and unforgettable. Others mention crowding during sea days, long waits for elevators, and difficulty securing reservations for popular shows. The ship's size is both its strength and its challenge. It is important to note that Symphony remains structurally sound and operationally advanced. The inspection incident did not indicate systemic failure. Instead, it highlighted the need for constant oversight, regardless of reputation. Number 8. MSC Seascape. MSC Seascape entered service as a visual statement. Glass walkways, panoramic elevators, and infinity pools create immediate impact. As a newer ship, expectations were high.
Passenger feedback suggests those expectations are not always met. The most frequent complaint involves crowd flow. Despite modern design, bottlenecks form around elevators, buffet entrances, and popular venues. During peak hours, movement feels constrained, undermining the open-air aesthetic the ship promotes. Service consistency is another concern. Guests often report long waits in main dining rooms and incorrect orders during busy periods. Specialty restaurants receive stronger reviews, but access comes at an added cost, increasing frustration for passengers relying on included dining options. Food quality receives mixed feedback. While presentation is praised, buffet offerings are often described as lukewarm or repetitive. This contrast between appearance and execution appears frequently in reviews. To MSC's credit, the ship excels visually. Cabins feel modern, public spaces photograph well, and family-oriented attractions, such as water parks and virtual reality zones, are popular. However, aesthetics alone do not guarantee smooth operations. The underlying issue is operational maturity. As with many new ships, systems take time to stabilize. For now, Seascape often feels like a ship still finding its rhythm. Number 9. Carnival Liberty. Carnival Liberty represents an older generation of Carnival cruising. When it launched, it delivered lively entertainment, casual dining, and an accessible party atmosphere. Over time, wear and tear have become increasingly visible. Recent reviews frequently mention aging infrastructure. Cabin fixtures, plumbing reliability, and inconsistent air conditioning appear regularly in complaints. Public spaces show signs of heavy use, including faded carpeting and rust in exterior areas. The ship's atmosphere remains energetic. For loyal Carnival guests, that energy is part of the appeal. For others, particularly first-time cruisers, the constant activity can feel overwhelming. On full sailings, pool decks and buffet areas become congested quickly. Carnival has refreshed parts of the ship, but Liberty has not received the extensive modernization seen in newer fleet editions. As a result, comparisons are unfavorable. Crew enthusiasm remains a bright spot. Many guests praise staff friendliness and effort, even when systems strain under demand. Still, enthusiasm cannot fully compensate for aging hardware. Number 10. Celebrity Summit. Celebrity Summit once symbolized modern luxury cruising. Designed for refined travel, it emphasized elegant dining, attentive service, and a calmer onboard atmosphere. 2 decades later, maintaining that standard has proven challenging. Despite a refurbishment, reviews indicate that many upgrades were cosmetic. Passengers frequently mention outdated bathrooms, cabin malfunctions, and humidity issues in warmer climates. These problems undermine Celebrity's premium positioning. Dining quality, once a defining strength, now receives mixed feedback. While main dining remains solid, buffet offerings are often described as repetitive. Entertainment is similarly uneven, with small performances praised and larger productions criticized as underwhelming. Summit's smaller size offers a quieter experience, which some guests appreciate. However, fewer venues and older infrastructure limit flexibility. Travelers expecting edge-class refinement often express disappointment.